What's up guys, TurboVelchiek here, back with another video, and in today's video, I'm reviewing Beyblade Burst Rise episode 20, titled Rebirth Master Devolos. So before we start this video, I'm just going to say this video will have spoilers on the episode, but if you guys have not seen the episode yet, I'll leave a link in the description below to where you can watch the episode. So like always, One Rise episode covers 2 Gachi episodes, so this episode covers episodes 39 and 40 of Beyblade Burst Gachi. So yeah, let's begin with the analysis. So like always, the episode starts off with the welcome to the world of Beyblade scene, and then the story starts off at the Victory's gym, where Dante and Armin are training, and Command Dragon knocks Bushin and Shinja out of the stadium, and Dante knows that he needs to get a lot stronger to defeat Gwen and Royal Genesis, and Dante wants to go again, and Armin says that he also wants to get stronger, but before Dante and Armin start their next battle, Tango comes in and says that they are going to the Infernal Tower because Arthur's putting on a special match that Dante might like. So the next scene takes place at the Infernal Tower where the match is about to start, and it is revealed that Delta and Arthur are having their rematch, and Dante and the Victors arrive, and Dante gives Delta a hug, and he notices Delta's newly evolved Bey in his hand, which is Master Devolos, and then Arthur says that both Dante and Delta will be completely annihilated. And after the opening, Arthur tells Delta that he will shatter his spirit again, and Delta says that he is not the same as he was before, and then we get into a flashback taking place at BC Soul, where Delta was evolving Devolos, and Vault tells him whatever he needs is always right by his side, and he just needs to reach out for it. And while Delta is working on Devolos, him and Vault feel the breeze coming from outside, and Delta sees the base stadium, and it reminds him of Dante, because that is where Dante revealed Ace Dragon to him. And then we get into a montage of Delta working on Master Devolos, and we also see flashbacks of him and Dante, and how Dante was always trying to be friendly with Delta. So now it is later, and Delta has completed Master Devolos, and then he goes up to the window and holds Devolos up and starts looking at it. And now we get back to the present, and Delta says that he will show Dante who he has become and defeat Arthur. And Arthur says that he will extinguish Delta's light, and then he will extinguish Dante's. So now Delta and Arthur's match is about to start, and then we see Gwen who is watching the battle. And then both Delta and Arthur are getting pumped up. And now we are getting into the battle, which is Delta and Master Devolos versus Arthur and Prime Apocalypse. And once Delta and Arthur launch, Delta and Devolos get into Master Launch, which was originally Master Shoot in Japan, and Apocalypse is sent flying but lands back into the stadium, and Devolos takes the center and Apocalypse starts attacking Devolos, and then Taka says that if Delta pulls off a perfect launch, it will make Devolos harder to burst, and the locks on Apocalypse move, and the center of the bay turns red, and then Dante starts getting pumped up, and cheers for Delta, and Delta remembers what Vault said to him about whatever he needs is always right by his side, which in this case is Dante, and then Delta heats up, and Devolos' avatar appears behind Delta, and then Devolos gets into Hyperflux, and then Arthur heats up, and we get into Apocalypse's avatar, and then Apocalypse gets into Dark Flux, and then Delta and Devolos get into Master Upper, and Arthur and Apocalypse get into Final Blast, and both Devolos and Apocalypse clash, and both bays are knocked away, and Devolos stays in the stadium, and Apocalypse flies out of the stadium, meaning Delta takes the first point. So Dante tells Delta to keep it up, and he will burst Apocalypse, and then we see Gwen who is wondering why Dante was so hyped up, although the battle has nothing to do with him. And then Arthur says that he has long awaited a battle with someone so worthy of annihilation, and Delta says that he will take Arthur down. And then part 1 of the episode ends, which was episode 39 of Gachi. And now we are getting into the second half of the episode, which was episode 40 of Gachi. And the name for this part has not been released at the time of recording this video, but since it was called Shine Master Smash in Japan, my guess is that it will either stay the same or be changed to Shining Bright Master Smash. So Delta is surprised that his greatest attack didn't burst Apocalypse, and Arthur says it ends here and he will devour the rest of Delta's light, and then Dante jumps in and says that Delta will burst Apocalypse, but then Delta goes off on Dante. So Delta gets into a Devolos moment, and Devolos wants to go at Apocalypse and unleash an even stronger attack, but Delta says that Devolos is wrong because there are other methods to defeat Apocalypse. So Delta flips to Master Base, changing Devolos' rotation to counterclockwise, and Dante says that Delta has to be going for a burst, and then we see Gwen and he gets into one of his moments, and says that Apocalypse is on a whole nother level. So now we get back to the Infernal Tower, and the second round is about to start, and Delta wants Dante to watch closely, and Arthur knows that Delta is going to increase his defense, and wither Apocalypse's stamina down to nothing, and he also says that he can see what is going on in Delta's head. So now we are getting into the second round, and the Victories find out that Devolos' counterclockwise mode increases its defense, and then Devolos starts attacking Apocalypse, and Dante notices that Delta didn't launch at full strength, and then Devolos takes the center, and Taka finds out that once Devolos starts to lose stamina, the tip will change, giving the Bay more stamina. So then Arthur and Apocalypse get into a Mega Blast, and Apocalypse sends Devolos flying, but Devolos lands back into the stadium and returns to the center. So then the Victories notice that the center of Apocalypse is red, but Devolos is now running out of stamina, but Dante believes that Delta is just getting started. And then Arthur and Apocalypse get into Prime Reboot, and Apocalypse goes in and attacks Devolos, sending it flying, but when Apocalypse hit Devolos, Devolos absorbs some of Apocalypse's stamina, and then Devolos' Generate Driver changes to attack mode. So Devolos lands on the upper deck, and then Delta heats up and we get into Devolos' avatar, and then Devolos gets into Hyperflux, and then Arthur heats up and we get into Apocalypse's avatar, and then Apocalypse gets into Dark Flux, and then Arthur and Apocalypse get into Final Blast, and Delta and Devolos get into Master Smash, and then both Devolos and Apocalypse clash, and Devolos pushes in the button on Apocalypse, and then there's an explosion in the stadium, and Apocalypse burst, meaning Delta won the battle. So Arthur is shocked that he lost to Delta, and Dante is happy that Delta won, and Delta thanks Devolos. So Dante goes in to give Delta a hug, but Delta dodges Dante, and Dante stops himself after Delta dodged him, and finds Arthur in front of him, and Arthur is angry and he yells and then walks off. So Dante wanted to congratulate Delta on his victory, but Delta had already went home, and Taka wonders if Master Devolos could defeat Royal Genesis, and then Dante gets pumped up. So as the Victories start going down the elevator, Dante starts shouting and says he will become stronger, and defeat Gwen, and then he's going for Delta. And then we see Delta, who is heading home, and then he starts smiling, and then we see Gwen, who still can't understand why Dante was so happy after watching Delta win, and then he starts doing math, and then the episode ends. So anyways, Rebirth Master Devolos was a good episode, and I did enjoy it, and Delta and Arthur's rematch was also really good. And I was also glad that this episode gave Delta some character development, now that he is loosening up and becoming more friendly, especially towards Dante. And I also really liked the flashback in this episode with Delta evolving Devolos, and I really liked how they used the soundtrack from Turbo when Iger was evolving Z Achilles into Turbo Achilles. And also, like always, I was glad to see Vault in this episode, but I wish he did make a physical appearance in this episode, and he could have at least been seen watching Delta and Arthur's battle, but I'm not mad because at least he made an appearance in a flashback. So anyways, in the next review, I'll be going over episode 21, Ultimate Creation Eclipse Genesis, where Gwen evolves Royal Genesis into Eclipse Genesis, and Arthur also challenges the WBBA. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this review. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, please subscribe, please follow me on social media. The links will be in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you guys later.